Okay, let's talk wedding signage. I'm making 2 signs, one for the welcome dinner the night before and one for the wedding day. I wanted something lightweight and packable, so I decided to do them on fabric. So I actually have leftover linen from this art project behind me, and this soft warm beige is very relaxed and casual, so I thought it would be perfect for the welcome dinner. And then for the wedding, I picked up this beautiful white chiffon. And it's just a little bit more elevated and airy and romantic. And the best part about fabric is I could throw these into my luggage, crumple them up, and all I have to do is steam it and they're good to go, so I don't have to worry about them getting damaged. I started designing the signs in Photoshop. For the welcome dinner, I reused the same graphic from our wedding invitations, a hand-drawn sketch I did of the Basilica de San Francisco. It's the major landmark in the town that we're getting married in, so it really felt fitting for the welcome dinner. For the wedding sign, I kept it simple, just clean, elegant text. It felt right to let the chiffon fabric and the venue do most of the talking. All right, so now I'm making the signs a reality. So for the welcome dinner sign, I wasn't sure how wide I wanted it to be, so I hung it up on the wall to get a feel for the scale. I settled on 3 feet wide and taped out the edge to guide where I'll cut and sew it later. Then I projected my design onto the fabric and started tracing. The linen texture made it kind of really annoying to draw on, especially the church sketch. This part took the most time and patience. And I may or may not have changed the Love, Vanessa, and Peter to just V and P at the bottom because I was very done tracing on this linen by the end. For the wedding day sign, I followed the same steps. I hung it up, projected the design, and traced. But this fabric was so much easier to work with. The pencil just glided on compared to the linen. It was so nice and smooth. Decided to finally cut the welcome dinner sign to size. I trimmed it down 3 feet wide, just like I planned. And then I pinned the edges to prep for sewing. I ran it through the sewing machine with a simple fold over hem, nothing fancy, just enough to clean up the edges and make it feel finished. I repeated the same process with the wedding sign, but this time I ironed all the edges beforehand so the folds would be super crisp and clean. The chiffon is more delicate, so having those sharp edges made it a lot easier to sew neatly. I started painting the lettering on the welcome dinner sign using a brown Posca paint pen. And off camera, I tested various colors and paints and pens, and this one was my favorite. But the key with this material especially is I needed to use that Q-snap frame, that white frame that you see here. That kept the material really tight, which was important to avoid the bleeding with the paint pen. So without it, all the lettering would have become really blurry, so this frame really helped make it nice and clean. And before I moved on to another section, I would just kind of leave it to dry, just to be on the safe side. Partway through, I realized the Q-snap frame was pulling on the fabric, so I started slipping in some scrap fabric as a buffer to protect the linen. So, crisis averted, learn from my mistakes. Okay, drawing the church, this part, I was the most nervous to start. And yes, I drew the original line work for the invitation. So I knew I could draw it, but Sometimes when you scale up, you need to add more detail, but I didn't want this to have a lot of detail. I wanted it to feel very like hand-drawn and sketchy. So I had no idea how it was going to turn out, so I was very nervous, and I just had to kind of jump in feet first and trust the process that it was going to turn out nice. Okay, it is looking so good. It's such a special little detail. And now I'm thinking I might keep it for after the wedding and frame it, so then we'll have this forever. Moving on to the wedding sign, off camera, I tested a bunch of different mediums to see what would show up best on the chiffon, and surprisingly, whiteout was the winner. Not what I was expecting to be using, but it totally worked. It has that bold, solid finish that I was looking for. And the trick with the whiteout is to move quickly and not use too much of it. Otherwise, it will kind of clump and look like it will crackle. It doesn't look good. So just thin, quick application. So for the really detailed areas like the date here, I used a paintbrush, and for the larger, bigger letters, like our names, I used the applicator directly. Okay, so the wedding welcome sign, I actually didn't finish it when I started working on it weeks ago, and now that I'm flying out in 2 days, I need to get this done. So this was a late night project for me. All right, I'm packing up my weeks of crafts all into a luggage, and I'm so excited to be Italy bound. The signs made it to Italy, and they looked so good at our venue, but I was too busy soaking in all the love and the magic of the 2 nights. I completely forgot to film videos of the signs. I did bring home the welcome dinner sign, so I was able to film some footage of that in action. But unfortunately, the wedding sign was left in Italy, and all I have are a few photos. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see the rest of my wedding DIYs, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!